Hold tight, Skippy. Daddy's fixing to squeeze off another steaming hot log of metal.
This is the Bone Metal Zone.
107.7 The Bone, that is Slayer, Mandatory Suicide in the Metal Zone. Before that, Arch Enemy, We Will Rise, and Exodus with Piranha. Exodus and Arch Enemy going to be at the Regency in San Francisco on February 6th. Those tickets on sale now at aeglive.com. In the studio with me, the man, the myth, the legend, Robb Flynn from Machine Head. He's going to be performing with Machine Head and Metallica at the HP Pavilion on December 12th. Those tickets are on sale now at apeconcerts.com. And Rob, you guys have played with Slayer a bunch. Good Slayer story?
I mean, Slayer was, they basically broke Machine Head, Kerry King and those guys. Our second tour that we ever did was 2 months with those guys in Europe. And then they took us out on our second American tour. First American tour that we did was, if I got to give props to anybody, the first dudes to take us out on tour were Napalm Death and Obituary. Grindcore death metal tour that we did. And very cool of them to do that. They helped get the word out there. It was like even before the record was out, part of it at least was. And then the next thing was Slayer. And Slayer was, I'm one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band.
And this is back when Slayer was really hard to open for.
They weren't easy to open for. No, they weren't.
Slayer audiences wanted to kill the opening act. That was kind of like a thing, like a running gag would be to destroy the opening act if you could. Yeah.
We did good, though, man. We here and there we got Slayered, of course. But those guys were all impressed by how well we held our own and how receptive their audience was. So they were stoked. We're going back. This is our first album here, so I've had a bunch of Slayer stories with those guys, but my memories because it was so long was all those early ones, and I know, they were all pretty chill, man. Like they weren't really.
But you do see those guys pretty frequently.
Yeah, Kerry was a rager, and he hung out. He was definitely the most social dude in the band. Always they had a bartender out with them. Like that was just his job.
Kerry's
he was
like
a
the
bartender.
Ringmaster.
Yeah, but he had a bartender named Boner, Aaron Boner, and that was actually his name. And just he was an awesome bartender. He Kerry, those guys all live at TGI Fridays. Like they just.
I was just gonna say, did Boner come from TGI Fridays?
Yeah, and he was a bartender at TGI Fridays who just they befriended. They're like, all right, let's take Boner out with us, and literally that was his job. He was the bartender. So if you needed a drink, Boner, get me. They were at that point they were drinking these just horrible drinks called antifreeze. It was like I forget what it was. It was this green. It was just. It looked radioactive. It was hideous, but you're like, okay, Kerry King just gave me an
Kerry King gives you a drink, you drink it.
All right, I'll drink it. So it was fun. But they were all pretty. Jeff was real quiet, just always drinking Heinekens. You hung out with them, and I guess some of my fondest memories were. We had a couple of good rager nights where we all went out to a TGI Friday. It was just retarded, TGI Fridays, raging drunk. Probably my fondest memories were just picking Jeff's brain about what Slayer songs he wrote. And I guess I kind of knew it, but, I'd be like, so who wrote Angel of Death? He'd be like, I did. And who wrote Mandatory Suicide? Oh, I did. And who wrote Dead Skin Mask? Oh, I did. And who wrote Rain and Blood? Oh, I did. Who wrote South Heaven? Oh, I did. I was like, God damn, dude. You're all those classic songs, man.
And you'd never know it to look at him.
Yeah, he's the, Kerry's definitely the face, but Jeff is definitely the heart, man.
And for people who don't know, because I guess it is relatively fresh news, Tom Araya had a back injury.
I guess back surgery today.
And you were supposed to be leaving in a couple of days to go on tour with them. So what's the kind of the synopsis on that?
I found out this morning. I got a press release. It's just saying that Slayer is pulled out. They put out of the Jimmy Kimmel show. So I'm assuming it's pretty serious. If you're pulling, the record drops tomorrow. So the record drops tomorrow. So if they pulled out of their Jimmy Kimmel appearance and Canadian Carnage, that's something serious is going on. So hopefully he's doing good, man. I talked to Kerry today, and he didn't seem to think that it was too bad, but it's obviously enough to pull the Canadian Carnage thing. It's been the Canadian Carnage. We're not going to be able to be a part of it, but it has been rescheduled for February. But so hopefully he gets better, man.
So you guys leave next week for a headlining show in New York, and then you go out on tour with
Megadeth. We're going out in Megadeth in America, doing a lot of cool places, like places we've never played before. It's like B and C markets where, no major cities really, but like
Louisville and stuff.
Covington, Kentucky. I never even heard of this, like places like that, which is cool, man. It's like, it's awesome.
It makes Louisville look like a bustling metropolis.
It does. Apparently, word on the streets of Kentucky is that it's is that it's the boondocks.
Wow.
So our drum tech's from Louisville.
Oh, okay.
So when he's telling us that it's the boondocks, we're like, whoa. So our drum tech Mud Billy, who's
if that
awesome
tells you anything.
Dude. Yeah, he's awesome. He has mud wrestle. He gets chicks in his. He has a backyard and he just fills it. He just waters it until it turns to mud, and then he invites chicks over to mud wrestle. So we're like, that's so hillbilly. You're Mud Billy. It's amazing. So he's a good dude, and so we're gonna do those and just be those dates, do those dates and like these kind of random areas. It's awesome. It's places that we've never hit or probably would not normally hit.
You'll have to advance a hose for Mud Billy and some chicks.
Yeah, he's probably
already
got
on it.
He's
Huh?
on it. Yeah, he's on it.
He knows the local.
He's big in that.
So after Megadeth, you guys come back around and you join Metallica in Vegas. You play 5 more dates with Metallica, winding up here for the big hometown show. Metallica, Machine Head, December 12th at the HP Pavilion in San Jose. Tickets on sale now at apeconcerts.com. Rob's going to be with us for a little bit longer because we're going to play some serious stuff. The Red Chord is on the way. Sepultura is on the way. And we'll squeeze at least one more Machine Head song in there. It's 107.7 The Bone. It's the Metal Zone.
It's the Bone Metal Zone.